Alrighty, so got our MoleMash project here, so let's jump into it. This was actually a lot of fun to design. I really enjoyed it. Surprising how fast it was to design something that would seemingly be a little difficult, but it really wasn't difficult at all when you got into it. MIT's really made a really nice editor here for Android applications. Definitely a really good thing for beginners to get into Android development. And I know this would have probably been super challenging to build with Android Studio. But let's take a look at it. So it's pretty much built to specs there with the PDF instructions. I did add in these difficulty buttons though, as thought that would be kind of a neat touch. Since the easy mode, which is just the 1/2 millisecond duration for the timer, feels just a little too easy to me. So I changed the hard difficulty is 350 milliseconds, which is just a little bit of time. It's just barely enough to do it, and it's really hard. Honestly, a little too hard. It's like, but that's you can toggle between those mid-game, and it starts out on easy difficulty by default. So that's the 1/2 second interval for the timer. So then we've got our little layout here with our different controls. Now if we go over to the blocks side so we can see our code, this is the code for it. We've got our global score variable here, which is initialized to 0, and then we have some procedures here, which are pretty much just methods. We have the move mole method, which is going to set the mole's x and y coordinates to a randomly generated position within the canvas, which is what this little equation here does. It binds it there within the to a value, so some coordinates that are within the canvas. And then this is the update score method. It's going to set the score label's text to whatever the score is. We also have this when the mole timer. Basically, this is whenever this is when the mole timer is triggered. So it's whenever the set duration is I guess lapses would be the word for that. Which is typically 500 milliseconds, but on hard difficulty that's a 350 millisecond duration. It's going to call the move mole method here, or procedure. And then when the mole is touched there, when the x and y coordinates of the mole is touched, we're going to increment the global score, update the score, vibrate the phone, and move their mole there. That way they just can't touch it again really quickly and get like double. So then whenever they tap the reset button, we set the global score to 0 and call the update score method. And then when I have here, these are just little extra kind of mods for the MoleMash program. This is the easy and hard difficulty buttons, and this is their event handlers. So if you click the easy button, it's going to set the time interval of the mole timer to 500 milliseconds. You click the hard button, it's going to set the time interval of the mole timer to 350 milliseconds. That's pretty much it. I've actually got built a APK file of it here and saved it to my computer so I could install it on my phone. And there it is. I just stored that in a little zip file here, and I'll upload that on Blackboard along with the rest of this project. I'll probably just merge this video with the gameplay video there, the MoleMash program. So that wraps up the code video. Phew. Alright, got this emulator running. I was just going to run this on my Android phone, but something weird was acting up with the videos. Apparently the video editor I used kind of freaked out when I tried to hand it a 720 by 12 or 180 video, or I think that was the dimensions on it, and then any way I found to rotate it, for some reason caused the audio and video to be out of sync. So that was odd. little heart attack there, and then I figured out how to run this emulator, which is pretty cool. It's a lot more basic than Android Studio's emulator, but it's impressive to me that it can communicate with the website. I'm amazed. Like, I don't even begin to understand how someone could do that. So that is really cool. Anyways, onward to the MoleMash application. So we can see here we've got it running now, and it's got the mole moving around at 500 milliseconds. So it'll change direction every 500 milliseconds, or change position, I should say. Now we got our difficulty buttons and our reset score button. I don't know if I can get this with the mouse. Yeah. I can't hear any vibration though, like I could when I ran it on my phone, but it definitely does vibrate. Ooh. Those mouse skills go in here. See, so I can get a couple of those. Honestly, using a mouse, hard difficulty may be impossible. Anyways, so we've gotten a couple scores there. So now let's change it to hard, just for the fun of it. And this is 350 millisecond duration between movements. Let's reset the score. This is so much harder to do with a mouse. It was like feasible with my finger, but it's really difficult. So probably not intended for like that, but the easy difficulty is definitely feasible there with this. Anyways, and then we can see the reset score button does work, and it resets it to 0. Oh, alrighty, and that is the MoleMash application. It's been a lot of fun designing it. MIT's really got a pretty cool application built, and good editor for beginners, and really anyone to have a little bit of fun in. Definitely not like a professional app development, but it's pretty cool, like for simple projects, maybe just homemade projects, like independent stuff. Definitely would definitely be really useful.